Welcome to another interview. My name is Jakub from P2P Empire, and in today's video, we'll be asking the CEO of PeerBerry, Arunas Lekavicius, whether the buyback guarantee is a good enough protection for your investments. We will also be answering all of the questions that you have submitted to us on P2P Empire. So welcome to the P2P Talk, Arunas.
Good morning, Jakub. Nice to be here and talk with you.
So PeerBerry is one of the most popular P2P marketplaces that offers the so-called buyback guarantee. For investors who are not familiar with this protection scheme, can you explain how it works?
Yeah. First of all, PeerBerry investors investing in loans already issued by loan originators. It means that investors do not lend money directly to the borrowers. And buyback guarantee is loan originator obligation to buy back investor investments if borrower delays more than 60 days.
And this buyback guarantee, does it cover the interest for late payments? Does it cover any extra late payment fees?
By PeerBerry business model, it covers interest rate, but by our business models, we not have any late payments fees, additional fees. Yeah.
And the buyback guarantee works for all loan originators on your platform, right?
Yeah, our loan originators provides the same buyback guarantee.
Is there any loan originators that use the buyback guarantee, let's say, more often than others?
Actually, I can't say that it's there is some tendency or it depends on countries, but it's normal that if a loan originator has big exposure in our platform, they're using it a bit more.
And PeerBerry also provides the so-called group guarantee, right?
Yes, right. We have such product. We agreed with our loan originators because we're working with three really strong groups of loan originators, and during this pandemic crisis, it helped a lot because we care of our investors and we all the time want that our investors' money will be safe. So we have such option, and if talk about this guarantee, it's internal agreements with loan originators. If, for example, about Aventus Group, if some of the not strong company or which can't buy back obligations or buy back investments, steps in a really strong company, a profitable company, and do it for this company.
When I talked with Slavek, the CFO of Aventus Group back in the spring, he said that once you needed to apply this group guarantee, can you explain how it went? Can you explain a bit the process behind it?
Yeah, actually, in PeerBerry history, it doesn't happen, but I know that Aventus Group it used because we had some issues with one of the company, but this company not worked in with PeerBerry, and profitable company just covered all debts of this company, and that's it. But I want to mention one more time that in PeerBerry, it doesn't happen.
So, in regards of the historical performance, there are no investors that ever lost any money on PeerBerry so far.
No, at all, no.
Let's say in case that all the guarantees would fail, do the loan originators still have some kind of a right to access the income of the borrowers? Is there some kind of security in the agreements?
Actually, it depends on legal in every country where our loan originators are working, but every borrower signed a loan agreement, and all our loan originators has the right and access to the let's say all income, etc.
And some of the loans are even secured by collateral, correct?
Yes.
Okay, we have received also a lot of questions from the community, and one investor was wondering whether PeerBerry plans to have so-called provision fund where you would be able to cover maybe all of the loan originators, or at least part of the loan book that you're listing on PeerBerry. Is that something that you have planned for the future?
Well, I would say we already have it, and we agreed with also all our loan originators. We're collecting 10% of their portfolio, which is in PeerBerry platform, and we have such reserves. This was really right decision, because during pandemic crisis it helped a lot, and we can buy back all investments straight after request, or if our investors ask it to withdraw money, we can do it immediately and not wait. We don't need wait while loan originators transfer their money.
So that way you avoid all of the pending payments that we can see on other platforms, and the investors can access their money actually right after they request the withdrawals, right?
Yes, you are right, and we proved it during pandemic crisis. Probably we was only one platform who did it immediately.
So you have always 10% reserve on PeerBerry's account and for situations like we have faced in spring?
Yes, yes.
Some P2P marketplaces are also introducing ratings, loan originator credit risk ratings. What do you think about it? Is it something that PeerBerry might implement in the future as well?
We think about it, but I decided not to do this, because I think that who can prove strong company or not can it's only financial statements. Actually, every loan originators in our platforms providing financial statements, and you can easily to check how strong this company, what is equity of this company, etc. And ratings not showing anything, because it's we saw during crisis that some in some platforms loan originators had really great ratings, but they had a lot of problems, and yeah, so we just have financial statements on our platform, and it better for investors, I would say.
And are all the financial statements in English, and are they audited?
Actually, we receiving not only in English, but we doing it by ourselves, and we translating it. Most of our loan originators has audited financial reports. It depends on also regulation in every country, but we agreed with all our loan originators from next year. But we have only audited financial statements in our platform.
Okay, so let's move on to a bit of a different topic concerning the loan originators and the structure of PeerBerry. We have seen on other marketplace that there might be a potential conflict of interest between the loan originators, the finance groups, and the marketplace itself. So can you maybe explain the setup between PeerBerry and the largest loan originators owned by Aventus Group and Gofingo?
I know that some of the people thinking that we are linked with Aventus Group, but it's not right. Actually, shareholders of both companies different and not linked at all. But probably with this history is from the past, because Aventus Group it was a company who set up or created this platform. But before we launched operations, PeerBerry launched operations, we decided to sell this company to two private persons who has also big experience in financial services. And Aventus decided to concentrate only for lending business. And we had and has a lot of things where we want to expand the activities. As you probably see, we started to work in Vietnam, in Sri Lanka, Philippines. Also, we have plans to launch the business in Asia, in India, and also Kenya. So we just concentrating for this, and PeerBerry is a absolutely separate company.
Can you maybe disclose the names of the owners of Gofingo and Aventus Group?
Yeah, it's not a secret at all because Aventus Group owner is Andreas Trofimovas. Probably most of investors saw his interview on some platforms or YouTube, because he's also CEO of Aventus Group. And Gofingo owners is Vytautas Ušauskas and Jonas Vytautas Lapienis, who also has big experience in lending business.
And those people are by no means angel investors in PeerBerry or silent investors in your platform.
Like private persons, they sometimes investing. And for example, Andreas also investing in PeerBerry with his own money.
But they are not shareholders of PeerBerry.
No, at all. We are not shareholders.
So we see now in Europe the second COVID wave is hitting some countries quite badly, and there are new restrictions introduced every day. I was wondering if that has an impact on the loan originators and the loan originations on PeerBerry. So have you seen already some trends?
At the moment, no. Everything going smoothly as before. But we preparing for it. We discussing it with our partners because it's really important. We all saw what happened when we had first wave of COVID pandemic, and we saw a lot of requests of withdrawals. So we preparing, we discussing, but everything, as I mentioned, now working smoothly, and we not see any growing withdrawals. Let's say investors investing like before, so everything okay. But we will see. You are right that the situation in the world is a little bit changing. Again, some of the countries started to quarantines, so we will see. But I would say that we prepared. We have reserves. Our partners really strong. We showed it during first wave, and we will see what happens. But everything should be really good.
And when it comes to currency exposure for investors on PeerBerry, I'm aware that I can only invest in euros, but the lending companies are probably lending their money in other currencies. So how does PeerBerry, what's PeerBerry's take on the protection when it comes to the currency exposure on your platform?
It's really important to mention that our partners never borrowed more than 45% of their portfolio. It's fully covering this currency risk. Another thing that actually our loan originators earning much higher interest rate in these countries. So it's always covering these costs if there are some currency changes.
One investor noticed that there has been a decrease in the current loans of two lending companies. So one is the Smart Požička from Poland and the other Credit Plus from Kazakhstan, down to, I think, 58%. Is this still the case? And can you maybe elaborate a little bit more on the situation?
Now it's not the case. I'm not checking at the moment what is percentage now, but I guess it approximately till 20%, because overall in our platform late loans percent is approximately from 15 to 20, and it's probably the best number in overall in platforms market. But this case can happen sometimes when some of the loan originators wants to borrow more money and needs to borrow more money. So it means that the portfolio growing really fast, and sometimes it's happening, but they covering immediately it and doing buyback if it's needs.
I remember during the first COVID wave, the loan originations decreased significantly on PeerBerry, and some investors were complaining about temporary cash drag. Is this something we can expect now or in the near future as well?
Probably no. We're not planning. At the moment, number of loans only growing in our platform, and coming December month, this month actually and historically all the time is the best month because all loan originators providing more and more loans for the borrowers, because all borrowers want to buy some gift for the Christmas, etc., etc. So I think that till the end of the year, number of loans only grow in our platform, and we have such plans.
One investor also noticed that 70% of his completed investments were delayed for one late. Is there some kind of a delay when it comes to covering the payments from the loan originators?
It's happening sometimes with some loan originators, but it's more technical thing, because if loan last payment date is, for example, 26th of October, borrower can repay till 12 o'clock 9, yes? So only after 12 o'clock we receiving data from loan originators, and only then we closing this loan. So it's normal that in some cases our investors can see this 1 day late.
Okay, let's move on to the next topic. We have received a lot of questions from investors about due diligence and reports, the financial reports of PeerBerry, which I'm really grateful for, because now we can start seeing the trend that investors are doing more research, which I think is very positive in the industry. And some investors noticed that PeerBerry is keeping investors' money in the balance sheets. Can you explain the legal background behind this?
Our financial statements approved by tax authority in Latvia. We are a Latvian company, so we working according law in Latvia, and we should show such financial reports. And every year, these financial reports is approved by tax authority in Latvia.
And your financial report has been also audited by an external accountant, but not by one of the largest auditing firms. Can you answer why?
Yeah, actually, we do not have such obligation to audit them, but and we was quite small company. But from next year, we agreed to have audit, and after we get the license, also it will be all the time we doing audit of financial reports, and yeah. So from next year it will be audited for sure.
This is also one of the requirements in order to obtain the investment firm license, right?
Yes, you are right.
Some investors are also always wondering about how the marketplace or the P2P platform saves their uninvested funds. Can you explain how PeerBerry saves my money when I transfer funds in order to invest them later on?
Yeah, actually we have separate account in PeerBerry where all not invested money we are keeping. If you request to do withdrawal, we will do it immediately. If you want to invest, you have this money in your electronic account.
Some platforms are also introducing solutions where investors are obtaining a dedicated IBAN accounts. Is this something that PeerBerry is planning to do as well?
We have such plans, but probably only next year. Need to wait because we now have other things to do, and especially with license. And our main priority is to get as fast as possible our license, and after that we planning to do some other implementations and features for the investors.
When I reviewed the first time the financial reports of PeerBerry for the last year, I and as well as other investors noticed that there is a difference between the number of employees that you have on your website versus the number of employees you are employing according to the financial reports, and also the cost for the staff was very low. So can you explain this situation? Why is that?
Yeah, actually at the moment working in our platform 10 employee, and our employees working on, let's say, renting lease contracts, because most of our employees from Lithuania, and as you know, our platform registered in Latvia. So these employees also working from Lithuania, and as we Lithuanian, we want to get salary in Lithuania, pay taxes in Lithuania, and this is the main reason of it. And about average of salaries, it's also you can find full salaries in our financial reports. I'm not remember at the moment which is line, but I guess it's second one, and with all expenses. Also, we are outsourcing some other services like some IT, some accountant companies. So yeah.
You mentioned that PeerBerry has an office in Lithuania, but you were registered in Latvia. What was the initial reason to not set up a company in Lithuania?
Yeah, because first of all, when Aventus, I know, the plan to set up and launch this company, in Lithuania it wasn't a clear regulation at all. And in Latvia, I work at such good and well-known companies and other platforms as Mintos, and it was clear regulation on how to set up this company. So we decided to do it in Latvia. And after we sold this company, we never discussed this option to transfer overall to Lithuania, and we working in Latvia as a company.
Mm-hmm. Can you maybe explain the process of the money flow between PeerBerry and loan originators? We have received a question from investors where they noticed that in your financial reports, PeerBerry has lent over 1.3 million euro to Aventus Capital company, which, when we look up the business registries, has only one employee. So can you explain the process behind it?
Probably most of the investors knows that if a loan originator outside of Europe, we can't list the loans or sell clients directly on the platform. So it means that in such cases, we need to have an intermediation company, and Aventus Capital in this case is intermediation company. It means that loan originator sell his clients to intermediation company, and also lending company pledge all portfolio and incoming payments to this intermediation company, and only then this intermediation company listing the loans on the platform. This is why this company is in our balance sheets.
And this is the case only in the scenario where the loan originator is outside of Europe, right?
Yes. And the scheme is approved by a Latvian regulator also, because all platforms working like this.
All right. PeerBerry is also one of the marketplaces that has applied for the investment firm brokerage license. How is this going to impact investors on PeerBerry?
Actually, thinking that it gives more transparency for all platforms, and as we talked before, all platforms must do audit the financial reports with some insurance for the investments of the investments of our investors. Also, when all platforms will be regulated and with license, It means that regulator all the time review all platform loan originators and platform work. So I think that only these platforms who become regulated and with license can work in the future. So it's really good for the investors and for saving of our investors.
Mm-hmm. So in reality, this license, if marketplaces receive this license, it will hinder P2P lending scams or people who are connected to some kind of fraudulent behavior to set up actually a P2P marketplace or a platform and start crowdfunding their projects, right?
Yes, you are right, because you can't list some fake loan originators, because every loan originators must be approved by regulator, and they review everything. So it's really good. Yeah, I hope it helps a lot for the investors.
For the investors that are watching this P2P talk, if you want to learn more about the P2P lending license that is going to come into force hopefully next year, you can go over to our P2P Lending Academy at p2pempower.com and read more about it. Some investors are also wondering, that are based outside of Europe, whether you plan to introduce withdrawals to bank accounts outside of Europe, as since PeerBerry is also listing loans from Vietnamese loan originators. So can you comment a bit on this situation?
We would want, but we can't at the moment, because we're working under the law and under regulations, so we can't do this. But if in the future something will be changed in the regulations, we're planning to do this. But at the moment we just can't, and it not depends we want or no, because it's legal things.
And right now you are accepting only investors from Europe, or also outside of Europe?
We are accepting all investors from Europe. Some of the investors we have from USA, but I want to mention that it only these investors who living in Europe and just have a passport of USA, and we have accounts in the European banks. They match all requirements of anti-money laundering, etc. So, yeah.
All right. So last question from the community. Or PeerBerry is offering a lot of cashback bonuses, and it has also a loyalty program in place. And investors are wondering how many investors are actually in each of the segments from this loyalty program. So there are three: the silver, gold, and platinum segment. So can you disclose some of the numbers?
Yeah, overall we have now approximately 28,000 of investors. But as you probably understand, they're not all active investments. Some of them we have zero in the balance. From active investors, we have in the loyalty program approximately 11%. It means actually approximately 1,800 investors. And if we split a little bit more to the silver, gold, and platinum, from this segment, overall loyalty segment, silver is approximately 74%, gold I guess 11%, and platinum approximately 14%. Yeah.
So there is more investors in the platinum segment versus gold segment.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, we have and really big investors in our platform. One of investors invested more than 1.5 million euros, so they trust in us. Mm-hmm. This is one of oldest our investor.
All right, let's finish up this conversation with some exciting features that you are planning for the future. Can you disclose what's coming up next on PeerBerry?
Yeah, now I think that most of our loan originators preparing for Christmas and for December. As we talked before, it's really important, not important, but they all the time on this period they borrowing more money, and we're planning to increase our interest rates. It's really important to investors, and I think that step by step we will increase it. Also, we will have a lot of credits on our platform, so it means that our investors can invest and do not have cash drag. From the futures of our platform, we planned to launch our application mobile app on summer, but it's happened that we can't because we had different priorities during pandemic crisis, and planning to launch it also in December, so hope it happens. So we're working on this. And the next one is the main priority is license. So we're working closely with regulator of Latvia, and we are moving forward with it. I hope that on the first quarter of next year we will get this license. So this is the main priorities for us at the moment.
Okay, Arunas, thanks for your time. Let's do another call when you guys get the license. I'm really excited about to see how it changes the market in Europe, and whether it's going to bring more safety into the P2P lending space. So let's catch up in 6 months or so.
Yeah, thank you, Jakob, and I want to also say thank to all our investors who trust in us and investing via PeerBerry platform. So if you have any questions, you can write directly to me or via email or to our customer support. So thanks a lot and goodbye.